the person that is actually representing the government of Abuja. Because we realized that when they were discussing the issue of the minimum wage, they said Governors Forum and the FCT. And we want to say clearly that our position is that the negotiation has been concluded and a figure has been arrived at. No other party, no employer can now unilaterally try to change that scenario. In fact, the point we are is the point of implementation. The point of enactment of the law and implementation at all levels. And therefore, this is where we are. And therefore, this is not, today's occasion is not a strike. It's actually a protest to every government house. As I speak to you in every state, our workers are on the same page. They are also visiting the government house of every state to actually deliver a letter. We have a customized letter, which every state chairman, every state secretary, including FCT, will sign and deliver to our political elite. We also want to extract their commitment. Anybody that will go back to come here to Abuja and say he cannot be able to afford, let him say so. I will tell him, our workers will tell them that they can be able to afford. Yes. Comrades, some states are already paying 25,000 currently. Yes. Some states are paying 22,500. Some states are paying 19,200. So when people say that we have unified minimum wage, it's not true. We only have a unified minimum. The minimum is 18,000 currently, and therefore states are paying higher. We all know Edo is paying 25,000. Yes. We have even Nasarawa here paying 19,200. Yes. Ekiti State is paying 22. Yes. So why do we need to turn the story upside down? This is the reality. And therefore, any of our elites that will go and say they want states to actually fix their salaries, it's like they don't understand the logic. Even in the most capitalist economy in the US, the state fixed a national minimum wage. State can only improve on that. You cannot go below it. And to compound the issue, if our politicians are on maximum wage, which they are today, how can they not give us minimum wage? Because all of us know that they are on maximum wage. In most countries around Africa, Nigeria politicians receive the highest salary. Yes. Their security vote is to describe it is monongous. Their security vote. Nobody knows what they do with the security vote. Hey. So therefore, minimum wage can be paid in Nigeria. Yes. We can reduce the cost of governance. Yes. We can make sure that we operate a very transparent system. Because we have seen, as I said, in the bailout issue, in the Paris Club reform, those monies have been diverted. And that's why we are in the same quagmire. So we call on all our workers to continue to unite and ensure that we fight for our rights. We will provide quality leadership to ensure that no worker, and I repeat, will be taken for granted in the context of Nigeria. We create the wealth, yes, and therefore we must benefit from what we create. Yes. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Forward.
Convince anybody that there is money for campaigns and there is no money to increase the minimum wage of Nigerian workers. That is very wrong. And again, now states receive federal allocations in billions of naira. They receive excess crude accounts in billions of naira. They receive Paris refunds in hundreds of millions of dollars. Many people in the position of power, I have not excluded myself, are living luxuriously. And Nigerian workers are suffering. How can anybody defend a government that will term itself as progressive to hesitate by not increasing the money to 30,000? So as far as the demand of labor is concerned, is the demand which every progressive and revolutionary Nigerian should share.
Another hurdle labor we have to cross will be at the National Assembly when the bill gets there. Are you saying that when it comes to a vote, those in favor say aye, those against say nay? What will be your vote? If the request is eventually presented to the National Assembly, I can fully assure you that the Parliament, the senators and members of House of Reps will accept, will endorse, and will further push to see that this is added. Now look at what is happening in the National Assembly. Even staffs are protesting. But no politician is protesting because he is starving. Politicians are comfortably paying the fees of their children in Dubai, in United States, in UK, and wherever. Politicians travel for headache, for Qatar, for anything. Politicians are living luxuriously, buying properties and shares banks in telecommunication companies and in so many places. So why should simply an increase in wages become a problem? But one thing I know very well is that President Buhari knows it, that his credibility, his legitimacy, and his moral standing and uprightness is dependent on him being able to accede to demands of labor that have always stood by his side even before he became a president. It is unfortunate that when people find themselves in a position of power, they forget the ladder that took them there. They forget the road that brought them there to power. But I believe that the president is listening, and I believe also that the people in a position of power know it very clearly, that if there is crisis, violence, and social upheaval in this country, no man with money will live peacefully. It is only when the poor are in peace that the rich can also be in peace. Yes, thank you very much.